rising, and peace to all the guys and goddesses of Planet Kai. Peace to all the divine beings and chosen ones all around the world, family. I'm sending y'all high vibrational energy, gratitude. You know, one thing I noticed along this journey, family, is that, you know, it really helped me and prepared me for this time and for these moments of being in spiritual warfare and experiencing all the shit that's been going on within the world lately. You know what I mean? All the distractions, just everything to keep us off course from focusing on self. And like, you know what I'm saying? And when I say distractions, I mean all the things that's going on in the media, you know, all the things that's going on in the entertainment world, like sports, the music industry, you know what I'm saying? Like, just everything in general, like the government shutdown, like everything that's taking place, like, and even though they say they reopening, you know, they're gonna shut back down in January, which is fucking insane, but it's just letting you know that, you know, your government is playing games with you. And it's like, we've been, you know, your whole life when you were asleep and you didn't know the things that they was doing, the corrupt shit behind the system, even though we had many speakers and many leaders that, you know, been speaking out about this even in those times, even way back then. You know what I mean? We had revolutionaries standing for change, speaking out, you know, using their voice, you know what I'm saying, to make a difference. But, you know, around those times, you know, people were still, you know, asleep. You know, we didn't know. You know what I mean? Our people have been oppressed for so long, you know what I'm saying? And every day we breaking free from those spells. We breaking those curses off of us. If you've done the work to heal yourself and done like the shadow work, you know what I'm saying, to really release a lot of things that no longer hold or serve you and your greatest good, you know what I'm saying, and the greatest version of yourself. And that's, like I said, holding on to traumas, built up pain, you know, from old relationships, you know, relationships you had with family members, things that fell apart with your family, like, you know what I mean, just things that you've been through so much, even through, you know, things that you went through even through like childhood, you know what I mean, like all the shit that you've been through in general, and, you know, like releasing those things, healing from those things. You know, it takes a lot of work and you're gonna cry a lot through the process, but that's what comes with healing. You have to cleanse the soul, and when you release and you cry, you let go of all those things that no longer serve you, you know what I mean. And when you get back to the purest form of yourself, your authentic nature, you know what I mean, get back to your most purest form, family, your most authentic spiritual self, you know, like, and your higher self, you know, and connecting to that version of yourself. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of healing, and it's not an easy process, you know what I mean? And it's not an overnight process. But we had so many, you know, leaders back then even trying to tell us what's been going on with this government and the structures. And, you know, even back then, when you look back in time, like when in hip hop, where there was actually artists and lyricists that were aware of what was going on and used their platform to push messages, you know what I'm saying, and to try to awaken the people, like the Erykah Badu's, you know, the Lauryn Hills, you know, back in that time, you know what I'm saying. But like, the industry just been so fucked up, you know what I mean, just like how the government and the world and everything that's done happened to this entire planet has been fucked up, you know what I mean. But one thing I really want to say all this, family, and I know it might be a lot I'm saying, but what I'm trying to make a point that it's very important to find time for yourself. You know, with all the distractions, with everything that's going on, it's always good to find time for you to take care of yourself. You know, nurture yourself, love yourself, put yourself first, you know what I mean? Forgive yourself, accept, you know what I mean? Accept everything that comes with you as a whole, you know, you as a divine being, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's the thing with individuals nowadays, you know what I mean? Like, they could never sit alone with themselves. And throughout my whole life, that's something I experienced, you know, dealing with so much, because as a chosen one, you've always felt abandoned. You know, we always feel abandoned. You know, nobody understand us. We always misunderstood. So your whole life, you know, people always went against you or made you feel like you was a problem when you was just being your authentic self. But the reason why they want to make you the problem, you know what I'm saying, and judge you because you made them feel little or uncomfortable because of the anointings over your life, because you're the child of the divine source, Most High, divine mother, divine father. You are the child of source. You came back here for a divine mission, family. Divine source is guiding you, placed anointings on you, prepared you for these very moments that's taking place now in today's time, family, in the age of Aquarius. Everything is being revealed. No more lies, and they can no longer hide the truth from us and our people no more. The indigenous ones of this planet. But it's like now everything is being revealed. So there's no more hiding, you know what I mean? And that's the thing that the energy that you move with in your aura. You move powerfully. You move powerful. They move powerless. You move with integrity. You know what I'm saying? You move with authenticity, right? These people, they move cowardly. They hold a lot of insecurities within. They're not honest with themselves. They always putting on an image or wearing a mask. But you come around chosen because you have all of this anointings. You have all of this high vibrational energy and, integrity and righteousness within your aura, and the way that you carry yourself, and intimidate these people. You know what I'm saying? You make them feel little, and it makes them feel uncomfortable. So they be in secret competition with you, trying to keep up with you, watching your every move, watching your posts, even doing stuff like you. You know what I'm saying? But they'll never give you your credit. But because it's like they admire you and then they dislike you at the same time. So it's like they can't really be honest with you because it makes them feel vulnerable, because in their little mind, they're, controlled by ego. They ruled by ego. And all of that comes from the destruction of the way that the system has been set up to target our people, or just to target individuals out here in general, but mainly our people, the black community. Keep us killing each other, keep us looking at each other like we each other's enemy, downgrading our black woman when the black woman is God. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to just destroy us, and divide us from being united as a race. You know what I mean? We're not just a race, but, just as the indigenous people of this land, because we wasn't considered a race before all of these, man-made, political laws were put in place. You know what I'm saying? To tell us who we were, when we deep down already knew who we were. It's just we had to come back into remembrance of it, and we're still we're still developing and growing every day, family. You know what I'm saying? Because this spiritual journey is never just an ending journey. Like, you continue to evolve and evolve and evolve until it's time for you to transition over. You know what I mean? So, or leave in this vessel in this lifetime. Leave this physical vessel in this lifetime. Whenever it's your time, it's your time. But if you notice, right, nobody's gonna leave with you, family. Nobody's gonna lay down with you when you transition, because they still got their life to live. They still got to focus on, their priorities and their day-to-day, business and things that they have to take care of within their reality, or even fulfilling what their purpose is, So that's the thing that you got to realize on your journey. You can't be afraid to be alone. You can't be afraid to walk this journey alone, because when you know that your spiritual team is walking with you, you have your ancestors with you if you've done the work and really built the connection with them, because you have to really heal and really tap in with them so that they can guide you, really build a connection with them, and I mean building a loyal connection with them. And you can't come to your ancestors just on some, you can't just be on some bullshit where you just try to use them for what you want. You got to still honor your ancestors and get them love as well. You know what I'm saying? Not in a form of control, or you got to be it's not religion based or nothing like that, to where it's control or manipulation, or you gonna go to hell, or if you do this, but it's more of just honoring them, you know what I mean, showing your love, because you are your ancestors. They are your blood. You know what I mean? That's your lineage. Y'all are connected. So you are your ancestors. Even though they transition, family, they still in the physical, working through you, working through others, you know what I mean, assisting you along your journey to guide you, to prepare you for where you need to get to, and that's the thing, in order for our people to be able to unite, we have to get back to our ancient, the way that we did things anciently. We have to get back to our, living the way that we did anciently. Get back to what kept us, on a high frequency. What kept us, vibrating high enough to come together to have the, understanding that we are one. We are connected. We are the divine beings, the indigenous people of this realm. You know what I mean? So once we come back into that, like, understanding, the way it was anciently, we won't be, there won't be so many differences within us. You know what I mean? All skin folk ain't kinfolk, because, like, you got Satan and his army too, that's disguised as me and you, that look like brothers and sisters, but they not really, and they're not righteous. You know what I mean? They're standing for wickedness, and unrighteous agendas. So knowing that, it's hard to just come together with any and everybody, and as a chosen one, you've been through so much betrayal throughout your whole life, being disconnected from the Matrix family that they put you around, being disconnected from Matrix, pawns, friends, strangers. Like, you always was misunderstood, so that's why you were always betrayed, and people always were jealous of you because of who you are. You can just be your genuine, authentic self and not care about being judged, not caring about how people feel about you, just being, your most rawest form, like you've always had that energy about yourself, that confidence, you just always was different. You was always gifted. So you just always stood out, and you could never fit in because you wasn't created to. So it always made Satan's pawns jealous of you, because it ain't many chosen, and it ain't many gods and goddesses on this realm. So it's like, are divine beings. So you always gonna be targeted, or always gonna be looked at as the enemy, especially when you standing for righteousness, and especially if you've done a lot of work to heal, because I'm not judging nobody. We all on our own journey and path, right? But you have to heal, and it's all in divine timing. Like, it's a phase to this. Like, it's not like an overnight thing. You just wake up, now you super healed and you know it all, And like I said, I don't never act like I know it all. I'm still learning every day. We're still growing every day. We're still receiving downloads and intuitive messages from our ancestors every day that's helping us learn and grow. All of us are, though. But we on different parts of our journeys. We on different, cycles right now. Like, we all not on the same frequencies and dimensions. So a lot of people have done more work to heal and released a lot of things that no longer serve them. And that's not knocking any other brother or sister or any god or goddess that is in the process of healing and releasing it, doing the shadow work more, because it is a process. So that's not judging them, because they will eventually continue rising in frequency as well, because it's happening, man. Like, people are waking up, slowly but surely waking up, but it's happening more faster than it was before, like, in sense of, like, it's everywhere. Like, the truth is everywhere, and everybody can see it. So whether they don't wake up today don't mean they won't wake up tomorrow, and if they don't wake up this week don't mean they won't wake up next week. It's just all in divine timing. But anything that's not vibrating high will be eradicated off this planet. So it's very important to get back in tune with nature if you and really start healing yourself. It don't matter what race you are, but mainly, like, my people, like, to the indigenous, like, get back, start back, getting connected to nature, family, building that connection with with Most High and the divine source, like divine mother and father, and your spiritual team and your ancestors, as above, so below. We are connected to divine source. We are the gods and goddesses as well on the physical, family. But we have to do the work to raise our frequency to get to that consciousness level and be operating in this energy of righteousness. It's not like an overnight thing. You have to really reprogram from the bullshit and the lies that we've been fed. It's just common sense, when it gets to a point. And if a person's not understanding you or understanding this, then that's how you know they're being used for the enemy, or they're not you. It's simple. It becomes that simple for you to know, family, especially when when your third eye is open and you've really been doing a lot of healing and releasing things that no longer align with you, especially working on your chakras too. But that's why you need a lot of time alone, so that you can build a connection with the Most High, so that you divine source and who you are and what you come from, and understanding your tribes, your roots. Just start understanding you and your culture that they tried to hide from you, and gave you history, which is their story. That's why it says history. When you break it down, it's his story, which is the oppressor's story, not our people's story. They hid everything. And that was by design so that we can never come back into remembrance of who we are or our greatness, or even believe that we are great in the first place, or we're more than great. You know what I mean? Like, we've been here way before. When they said we came on boats, no, we've been here. It's been people, complex colored everywhere all around this world before Christopher Columbus came. So it's just like he did not discover America, family, and they still teaching the kids that to this day, which is wicked, But yeah, family, spending a lot of time alone is key right now. Don't be afraid, and don't feel like you need somebody to walk with you along your journey. You already should know, if you've been doing the work and connecting with your ancestors, that they're walking with you on this journey. You know what I mean? Just know that you're being guided by higher forces. Just know that, family, and you're never alone, even when it feel like it. You know what I mean? You're never alone. Like, you don't need nobody but yourself. You don't need nobody but yourself, family. Like, even with me speaking, I'm not looking for y'all to look at me as like I'm a know-it-all and I'm here to just control everything. Like, I'm looking at it like we have to come together as a people. And all I want to do is enlighten and inform and bring a message to my people to let them know this type of shit. Because for the ones who don't know, the guys and goddesses who've been doing the work, y'all already know what's up and what's been going on out here. If you've been really, like I said, doing the work and connecting, with the planet and getting connected with your culture and who your people are, and knowing what tribes you come from and who you are, and in general, family. Like, it's like we really just seeing this shit for what it is now. So being alone helps you understand and be more aware of everything that's going on in front of you and around you, family. Because you got so much time. I'm talking about just in complete silence at times. Like, you could listen to music, you could go for walks. Long as you spending more time alone, like as far as sitting in meditation more, like we should be meditating more for real. Like, that's what's gonna help protect our frequency and place more of a shield around our aura. Like, the more that we stay on retention, the more that we start like meditating more, like those things is gonna help us come back into remembrance, like, of who we are more, and getting more grounded out here in nature and getting this sun, family, because the sun gives us life. It unlocks those galactic codes that was locked within our DNA, family, our DEA. So the more that we get out here, the more that we're healing, the more that we're connecting with Mother Nature, the more that we're helping heal Mother. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is all frequency, everything is vibrations. You know what I mean? Literally. So it's just like crazy, family, like how some people just can't be alone. And it's just like I said earlier, when you leave this realm, you transitioning alone, nobody coming with you. But it's just crazy that some people just can't be alone, family. And it's because they have so many insecurities, they have so many demons, and they need to be around other people who make them feel comfortable. As being a chosen one, like I said, you felt abandoned your whole life. You was always left out. You never fitted in. You was never able to go places with family all the time. You was never able to be here, be there. Like, you was always comfortable being in your own space anyway. You know what I mean? And that's just because deep down in your soul, because you are an old soul, an ancient soul, you knew that the people that was around you was not like you. You knew it was you was just more, you stood out way more. That's the thing. Like, you just stood out way more. You knew that. And not on a cocky level, it's just, you just knew that you've been here before. Like, you knew, like, that just something was different about you, and that's why you was always the outcast or labeled the black sheep. It's just, something was always, it was like it was always the enemy trying to go against you or use others to stop you or like to downplay your existence as a whole. Like, it's just always something like trying to play with you or knock you off of having confidence or to make you feel like you ain't nothing or you little, but the whole time it was the enemy using these pawns around you to try to like destroy you mentally or to destroy your self-confidence or to destroy your inner power, your inner strength as a divine being, but yeah, now that you awaken and going down your path and awakening daily and learning more truth, now you're tapping back into those ancient powers. Now you're building that confidence within back up. Now, you're rising in frequency again, family, and your godhood, as a divine being. But this all takes work. It all takes work. Every day, we all evolving and growing every day, family. So this journey never stops. It's always something new you learn every day. So being alone, it's very powerful for you to figure out your strengths, to continue, working on yourself, to continue healing, to continue doing the shadow work. Being alone is very important in a spiritual warfare, family. It's very important. And it's like the people who can't be alone, it's going to get bad for them in the times that we're heading into. Especially if they've been, losing it and letting all the distractions out here that's been happening get to them. Like they really gonna lose it, because if you still not grounded and balanced with yourself, family, you're gonna always let the weight of this physical reality get to you, like the low vibrational shit get to you. You're gonna always let something hinder you, or you're gonna always like not have like that will in you, like that fire in your soul, especially when you're letting the matrix control you and you're staying in a low frequency. So when you want to go out to the club because you want to like drink and have and party, and I'm not saying nobody can't go out and have fun, because you could do whatever you want, you have free will, but I'm just saying like you don't need to really do those things. Once you start healing yourself, you wouldn't really even want to. Like, that's a part of the healing journey, like releasing all those things that no longer serve your highest good, like going out, drinking, doing drugs, like, that shit, it's not gonna move you. It's not gonna help you continue evolving into the best version of yourself. All those things are doing is just giving you a temporary fix, giving you that little high for the time being, and then you back feeling depressed, you back feeling, just low vibrational, you back with the drama, the negativity, and just it's gonna keep you in those low vibrations, family, when you're not spending time with yourself, and you always looking for something outside of yourself to make you feel good, when all you really need is yourself. Like being alone is important, and that's how you gonna build a connection with the divine source. Like you have to like spend a lot of time alone, because that's how you learn more about yourself and who you are. Because when you're around so many people that's still in those low vibrational energies with drama, negativity, just no confidence in themselves, always trying to down you, always, they don't want to see you even win. They jealous of you. They in secret competition with you. Why do you want to keep hanging around these type of people all the time? They won't even help you get to the next level. I bet if you ask these same people, hey, let's meditate together, let's go hiking, let's go out in nature and get some sun and heal together, bro, these people look at you like you crazy. Or let's stop eating meat because of it causes cancer and the different things that it's doing to our people, like, and our health in general, like, because we weren't designed to consume that. You telling somebody like, let's go eat some vegan food, or let's go try this. They won't go try those things, but they would love to see you go out and party. They would love to see you get drunk as a skunk. They would love to see you do those low vibrational things. Fuck off, every night, just because they want to hide from try to fill a void, or to, hide their insecurities, or to make themselves feel comfortable, or, to get away from the pain instead of actually dealing with it. At these times, like I said, anything that's not vibrating high will be eradicated off the planet, and that's the times that we're going into with these ships. You know, so it's important that you do heal and do the work, and you can't run away from it. Like it's getting real out here, family. And I'm seeing the demons working through these vessels. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the demons working through different vessels of people, and it just don't feel the same. I don't know. I feel like the more I raise in frequency and the more I went up in like the more I've been rising in dimensions, it's like shit been like totally different out here. Like it's not how it was when you was in the 3D. Like shifts are taking place spiritually. You might not realize you might not realize it physically, but it is taking place physically as well. But everything starts in the spiritual realm before it manifests into the physical. So yeah, family. But being alone is very important around these times, so you won't be distracted, so you could spend time with yourself so that you can heal and raise your frequency and really get on a level of, you know, of being the greatest version of yourself, you know. So just think about that, family, because, you know, these same people, when you going through something or you going through something bad in life and you ain't got nothing going for yourself, they'll leave you hanging. These same people who want you to go out and club, want you to go party, want you to go do all these things with them, right? These low vibrational things. But they won't do nothing high vibrational with you. That's how you know it's time to let those people go. That's how you know these people are Satan's pawns, man. Place to just keep you off course, chosen. Throw you off your path, you know. So being alone definitely taught me a lot, and it's definitely allowed me to find my inner peace. You know what I'm saying? Help me build up that inner peace within. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you around so many distractions, bro, you can't find no inner peace within yourself, or like, because you got so much shit taking you away from connecting with your higher self and being, you know, still, basically being still. Because we move a lot, you know, in the matrix. You know, they want you hustling and bustling every day to make $1 to take care of yourself and to provide. But sometimes you just need a little stillness. You know, sit in the meditation form. You know what I mean? Or just sit with yourself, quiet sometimes. You know, and just go out in nature, listen to the tree. You know, listen to mother, listen to the birds, get connected to the trees, go hug the trees, go spread love to nature. You know what I'm saying? Get out here in this sunlight. Talk to the sun. You feel me? Plant your feet down here in this soil, family. You know, doing those things are important daily because they help heal you. You want to heal yourself, bro. You know, these people out here ain't trying to heal. These people ain't trying to release things that no longer align with them, or like things that's bad for them, that's not helping them evolve to their greatest version. So of course they'll want to keep you at that same level of thinking. So when you start evolving and raising your frequency, now they gonna look at you like, oh, this nigga, he think he better, or oh, she thinks she all this. You damn right. You know what I mean? I don't think it. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am now, because when you come out of the sense of, you know, of trying to put on an image your whole life, it basically it hides who you really are. So when you evolve to your greatest version, you no longer move but as a chosen one, you never move that way. I'm just talking about Satan's pawns and individuals out here like these narcissists who do wear masks their whole life. You know, the thing with them is they not being their true authentic self. You know, you've always been your true authentic self, chosen. But the thing is, like, you didn't walk with that. You didn't walk with your most powerful confidence, or you didn't walk with, you know, like as a God. You didn't walk as the divine being who you were all alone, basically, because you didn't know this. You know what I'm saying? But when you done the work to raise your frequency, you start realizing like who you are. So you take back your power. You reclaim, you know, your authority. You know who you are. So it's not that you saying, I know I'm the shit because of ego, but these people would take it as ego. You know you the shit because you know who you are now. You remember who you are now. You know what I'm saying? But these narcissists, they gonna take it as ego. They gonna think, oh, he say he God, or he this, that. but they don't understand the knowledge and the esoteric truth behind why I know I'm God, or why I know, you know, a female one, like a black sister, is a goddess. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't even understand all that, or even understand our genetics and what we come from. You know what I'm saying? But it's like everybody is on their journey, like as far as like everybody who's been doing the work as a divine being or a chosen one, right? A god, a goddess. You've been doing the work, family. You've done the work on your journey, so you're on a high frequency. Like I said, we all on different frequencies, but if you've been meditating, you've been, you know, releasing those things that no longer align with you, doing the shadow, healing yourself, you're on a high vibration. You're on a high frequency. I'm basically talking about like these narcissists who haven't done no work at all. Like, they really will judge and try to talk about you to take you off your path or to make you think that you crazy when you're not crazy, family. The whole time you're aware of what's going on around you, and they're not. So they think you crazy, and it's it's insane. But like I said, if they Satan's pawns, I think it's too late now for any of them, because they could have done the work to heal and come out of being unrighteous. But at this time in spiritual warfare, if you haven't done no work or haven't been healing, you kind of got stuck, or like in a dimension, you know what I mean, in lower dimensions, you know what I mean, and now you're being used for Satan. Basically, these soulless beings, though, like if they haven't done no type of work to try to break from under that spell of unrighteousness and working for Satan and his army, then they kind of stuck there right now. You know what I mean? As in them lower realms. And that's why their life feel like hell, and that's why they could never be alone, because they got so many insecurities, or they always gonna feel fucked up without having to party, or without always trying to get a fuck. Or always, like, it's like those things is what keep them excited. And also materialistic things like money and stuff that really, you know, don't matter. It's nice to have these things, but that's not gonna raise your frequency. You know what I mean? Because it's all about you doing spiritual work. It's not about this physical world that Satan manipulated. You know, like, it's not about like the things in the physical, as far as the material things. You know, like the cars, clothes, all that shit. You know, y'all get what I'm saying. But yeah, family, start spending more time alone with yourself. I'm telling you, you know, it's very important around these times, because you start to really see people for who they are. You start to realize who really gonna have your back when you know what I mean, on your own and doing what you gotta do for you. You start to really care for you. Who's gonna really call and check up on you first? You know what I mean? Especially when your whole life as a divine being or chosen one, when you always just had nothing but pure love and wanting to see others win, and just, you know, even rooting for others, you know what I mean? Because you never had that secret competition that wasn't never in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Because you have righteousness within you, and you're the child of the Most High. You have all this anointings on you, and you want to do better for yourself, but you also want to see others around you do better. You want to see this world as a better place. You know, but when you the narcissist, or you Satan's pawn, you don't care about none of that type of stuff. Only thing you care about is material things. Only thing you care about is downplaying others, being in secret competition with others, watching others' every move and talking shit behind their back, and then smiling in their face when they see them. That's all a mask. You know, and that's how you be able to tell the difference, family, like who really for you and who Satan's pawns. Especially as a chosen one, because it's just so much betrayal, there's so much backstabbing, and there's so much envy and jealousy in this world towards you, family, because people see the light within you. So being alone protects your energy. Being alone is important to keep you away from the fuckery, you know, that goes on, because Satan is always using people around to get to you. If he can't get to you, he gonna use somebody around to try to fuck with you or take you off your course. But telling y'all, these narcissists, they cannot sit alone with their demons, man. They cannot face them. They got too many insecurities. They couldn't do what you do, chosen. But being alone, it's gonna teach you a lot. Gonna teach you about yourself. You're gonna learn so much more being alone than you would hanging around a group of people, family. You know? But if this message resonate with y'all, family, be sure to share it to more divine beings, chosen ones, more gods and goddesses, and divine beings all over the world, family. Share it to everybody, family. You know what I'm saying? Now we rise. Now we rise. Ashe, peace and love, family.